dat is vooral om Artie te bedanken voor wat ze gedaan hebben. En heel speciaal de mensen die hier voor deze tentoonstelling hebben meegewerkt. En dat zijn Ria Stork, die heel veel gedaan heeft. En Dirk Jan. En Marieke, die de tentoonstelling hebben ingericht. Hun wil ik hartelijk bedanken voor wat ze gedaan hebben. Heel jammer dat ik er niet ben, maar in gedachten begrijp je dat ik heel dicht bij jullie ben en deze gebeurtenis heel bijzonder van hieruit meemaak. En daarom dit kleine filmpje. En nu geef ik heel graag het woord aan Simon Bellinga, die de boel opent. Ook heel dank, die vergat ik te bedanken, mijn familie allemaal die uit Israël gekomen zijn. En ook alle mensen die hier gekomen zijn, heel hartelijk dank voor hun komst. En nu het woord graag aan Simon Bellinga.
Now you can speak. Shalom.
Maar voor Simon Bellinga hebben we een klein woordje van Ria. Ria, thank people, and then everyone is insulted who didn't get thanked. So I decided I would start off by insulting people, by ignoring them, and then I will say something. So I have a little column of thanks here, but I know I'm missing many people. Let me say, first of all, the exhibition. So Sarah mentioned Marika and Ria, but there's also Karen, who put together this beautiful case. I'll tell you about her in just a second. And there's Rose and Willem, and there's the staff of Artie, and there's my brother Jack, who can't be here, but who provided the flowers, and there's my brother David, who I'm calling these days Saint David. Who, I don't even know how to start by thanking him, so he's done so much. So that's one column. And then there are lots of people here who throughout the years have kept contact with Sarah, and I know really I'm going to miss people, but I'll just mention Wies, Lubbers, and Marika, who comes and reads, and Marion, our cousin, sort of our fifth cousin, who comes almost every Saturday, and Sophie, and Claudia, and Lynn, and Ingrid, the physiotherapist and friend, and Jan Berendt and his wife. They're here somewhere. Jan was a student of SUMS, and they became friends, so that's a long time ago. And the four beautiful ladies who have been taking care of Sarah for the last 4 years, Sonia, Irena, Lydia, and Edna. So all of these people deserve thanks. And if somebody in the crowd knows that I missed them or missed somebody else,
Your sister.
my sister. Yes. Great. And my sister. Okay. And then I was asked to make an announcement. There's a guest book around here. Sarah would like people to sign the guest book, clearly, that's the request, and to write something in the guest book. Okay? My friends here, a lot of families, so my sister, Saint Hannah, came here with 5 grandchildren. That's pretty amazing. David is here, my brother, with his son Amos, who flew over from London this morning. And Terry and I are here with our 3 children and Sarah's partner, so 4 children. So we're all very, very happy to be here. Okay, so far so good, right? Okay, so just a little bit about what we want to say here. So I decided that the cheap and easy thing to do would be to start and tell you about age. You know, 102 and all this stuff. I decided I'm not going to do that. So here's what I think. So what is this all about? You know, it's about a woman with a great talent and gift, with an amazingly strong will, with some of us have been victims of that will in the past, but that's not on the tip, right? But with almost unstoppable and optimistic, with a very, very positive outlook, and who likes to get her own way. That's part of the, I'll tell you something about that in a little while. Who has, of course, really been blessed by extraordinary good health and a good memory. Very, very Jewish, very, very Israel-oriented. Later, when I turn into an art critic, I will tell you a little bit about some of the pictures, but you'll see there's a distinctly Jewish and Israeli theme about this. And with a tremendous devotion to the family, okay? She herself has no children, so we are really her children. There was only one sister, my mother, and her 4 children are really like Saya's children. She's not here today, my Oma Anna, but who was an amazing influence in Saya's life, and somewhere around here, actually it's right down there, there's a picture where Oma Anna, so Saya's mother, is sort of like a ghost appearing over somebody's shoulder. I think it's for both of her parents. It's hard to underestimate the influence of Oma on Saya. So that's all very, very important in this exhibition. And when I was thinking over it, there's something else here too. I think it's hard for us to realize the struggle of Saya and women like her against conventionality. You know, she's 100 years old. 100 years ago, maybe even 50 years ago, Holland was almost in a suffocating way conventional. And certainly she comes from a very conventional family. There's a Japanese saying that says, the nail that sticks out must be hammered in. You know, that's sort of the Polder mentality. So, you know, Saya was the first woman student in a technical institute in Groningen. She studied drawing there. Not only was she the first student, when they gave her the diplomas, it turned out that the diplomas were in masculine. They didn't have a female version of the diploma, okay? And she studied there from 1932 to 1935, but her mother wouldn't let her study there until she had gotten her teaching degree. So first you do what's required. Maybe she was right, I don't know. And then you can, first you go to the Kijkschool en dan mag je naar het Middelbaar Technisch Instituut in Groningen. You know, after the war, when she inherited property, both her mother and the lawyers and the accountants said to her, you know, property is not for a woman. You get rid of all of this stuff. And she in fact sold 2 buildings in Haarlem, and to this day she remembers this. I was in Haarlem, I don't know, 2 years ago. I called her up, I said, so where are the buildings? Ja, moet je even hier kijken, moet je daar kijken. And too bad that I sold them. And then she got smart, and she stopped selling, and she's a pretty good business person and a great manager. But this sort of force of conventionality, very, very strong. You know, we mentioned Ria. And, you know, Ria is the person who organized the first exhibition of Saya when she was 80, in 1992. I don't think it's a complete coincidence that Saya picked up her artwork again after Oma was gone, and after Sam was gone, and after all of these familial pressures, and she didn't have to be a good wife anymore and support her husband's career. There's a lot of that in these pictures, and there's of course a lot to celebrate. Now, anybody who has talked to Saya in the last couple of months knows that this exhibition was a tremendous source of excitement for her. Today she could hardly get up. She's so excited. And you saw this also in the pictures. So, very happy to see you here, and that's sort of what I have to say. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the artwork, but here it'd be great if I could have some help. I'm an economist. I don't even know how to draw a straight line, actually. But I'll just sort of tell you, just going around the room. So, down here, oh, and I should say something else. She started to paint in the 30s, but in fact, the earliest painting we have here is from 1975, and there's one of those, and everything else is from the 90s and from 2000. So we're missing a few years, like 70 years. So that's her father and sire. At some point in the last 20 years, she got very involved in sort of history, you know, it's one of the things we old people do. And so you have sire and her father on the bicycles, a wonderful picture. And to the left there, in black and white, you have the wedding of my parents, of our parents. And I think actually the lady on the far left, next to the bride, that has to be Oma Anna, because that's the kind of hat that she always wore when she went to synagogue. And the three men over there must be my father and Opa Zadok, and I guess Opa Simon. I don't know. So there's some family stuff over there. There's a self-portrait. The wall ends with a self-portrait of sire. And a considerable amount. At the same time she was doing all of this family stuff, she was also sort of moving into abstraction. And so you have a lot of abstract pieces over there. And then I like to think of the wall over there, even though there's a lot of abstraction, as sort of the Jewish wall. There's a big painting there of a market at the Jewish festival of Sukkot that is held in Mea Shearim, which is the ultra-Orthodox area of Jerusalem. There's some more Jewish stuff over here. There's the picture. The one early picture we have is 1975. That's up there. And let's see, what else can I say here? I think you should look around. Okay, and then over here, we have two very special things. So she's been blind for the last 2 years. And Kyra, who I promised I would not call on to speak, has been doing ceramics with her, and very special stuff done by Karen, who's a very gifted teacher, and sire. And over there's a box, and there's some drawings that she's done as a blind person. So that's what I have to say. You know, it's very emotional and special for all of us, I think, to be here. And Ben is een hele leven.
Kijk zo! Oké, je krijgt wat je...
Zij was een moeilijkheid om te kiezen.
Nee, weet je wat wij zien? Die kaas van de Balvanorkest deden zij in Barneveld.
Hij is in Theresienstad geweest, dus misschien is hij eerst in Barneveld.
Dat ben ik een orkest leden.